Hey, today I'm going to show you how to lubricate the solenoid valve and the Skout Epoch. Very easy to do, but and it's something that you need to do occasionally. Now, I'm going to show you what we got going here. All right. This is the tiny little camera I'm going to be using. I'm going to be working around. Makes it very difficult. This is the view from the tiny little camera. Now there's two screws in here, and this one is underneath the rear guard. So you just pull up on the little clip that slides out. Got a screw right here and another one up in here. We're going to pull those out real quick. I'm unscrewing two screws, so you don't really need to see that part of it. So I'll get these two screws out and I'll show you what we got underneath the trigger mechanism. That's the two screws right there. They're both the same. Set those aside. And I think while I have this off, I'm going to go charge my trigger up. And for those of you that don't know, the trigger charges up underneath this handle right here. I'll just do that while I've got it apart. But for now, I'll show you what we're doing. I decided to go ahead and show this for the people that don't know. So this plate comes off. Now they make now a kit that you can put in here so that none of this needs to come apart anymore. I don't have that kit yet. So we pull these out and then they slide down. There's two little keepers in there. You want to be sure and not break those little tabs off. You can see those little tabs in there. Let's see if we can get an angle. Yeah, there you go. You can see the little tab. You don't want to break those off. And then the charging port is inside here. I'm going to go put this on the charger. Be right back. All right, the trigger is on the charger. Okay, this is the solenoid valve, and this is what we're going to lubricate. We have to take the contacts off of this first, and then these two screws have to come out. Just take your little Allen wrench, undo this tiny screw, and this is a only little screw that's that size on here. Kind of keep tabs of that, and we're going to pull these two out. Bill just did this on an Evo, and that's on the Scout Airgun channel, and I'm going to do this one on the Epoch. There are some slight differences between the two. Just get this up out of your way, and there's your solenoid. Now on this solenoid, this is your inlet on this side. This is the side that goes up and fires the rifle. We're just going to pull these O-rings out. Don't damn it. Well, you don't really have to pull the O-rings out, but I'm going to pull it out so that you can see better. And there's a little screen down inside there. What we're going to use is some shock oil. And this is for an RC car. I just happen to have an RC car, so I have a variety pack of these. And what I'm going to use is a 45 weight. And I think they say 40 to 60. And 45's in between 40 and 60. So what we're going to do now is just put a drop right in the inlet. And we're basically done. Put the O-ring back in. Slide this back into place. And all we're doing, the solenoid valve is what controls the air going into the balanced valve. To fire it, it unbalances the valve. So if you get this thing sticking, then you're not going to have your shot count's not going to be where it needs to be. There's a couple of screws on here. This is the magnet that fires this thing. You want to be sure that these two screws are tight. If those pull loose, then you're going to lose some of the magnetic pull on the solenoid. Slide this back into place. You don't need to tighten the screws down right off. Anything mechanical. I had a friend of mine that tried to get this across to him years ago. You don't tighten all the screws up as you put them in. He tried to put a water pump in and tighten each screw as he installed it. Anybody that's ever done that knows that is wrong. So all I'm going to do is get the front one started just enough to hold it in place. Put the back one in. And you don't need to crank these down. You just need to snug them up. Want them tight enough that they don't vibrate loose. But you also don't need to crank on them. We're going to put this one back in. This one's kind of important because you need to have this little strip lined up. This is what makes contact with the trigger body. This is the magic piece that makes everything communicate properly. And again, you just want to snug this up. And I think you can see that's relatively straight. So now all I've got to do is wait for my trigger to finish charging. We'll throw it all back together. And we're ready to slip the trigger back on. Now I'll show you something real quick. This has diagnostics built into it, so if there is a problem with this connection right here, you'll hear this.
Powering on. Welcome to the Epic experience. Firing mode, match, battery level 100%, solenoid, circuit fault.
You'll hear that circuit fault if these pins are not making good contact, if you didn't get those in there straight. Turn this back off.
Powering off.
Put everything back together. Now again, we're not going to want to tighten everything up. We're going to want to put in a screw just to hold it in place, and then we'll snug everything down at once. Try to get my paws out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. But that's it. Just be sure this isn't under a bind when you snug these up. And I'm going to snug the back up. I'm going to come back up and snug up the front just a little bit. Try to keep them even. Check the tension. Okay, we get all this back together, and all we need to do is just button it up. Slip your pieces in here. This piece goes on right here. Push that up. Click it into place, and now we're good. So as you can see, it's not a complicated process. It's not a lengthy process. Anybody that's ever worked around a camera knows that is very difficult to do, and it's time consuming to get those little steps in there. But I'm going to say that took me, I don't know, I don't even think it took me a whole 5 minutes, and would have been quicker without the camera. I don't have time to go shoot this today. For any of you that don't know, I work a 6-day work schedule with 1 day off, so I'm only here 1 day a week, and the rest of the time I'm on the road somewhere. That's just how life is right now. I'm getting ready to retire, and I'm kind of getting everything geared up for retirement. Once I retire, you're probably going to get bored watching me doing some of the stuff I'm doing on here, unless you really like air guns. If you really like air guns, I'm going to try to make more videos, and I'm going to try to get some pest control and or hunting videos in sometime in the not too distant future. Anyway, I appreciate everybody. I'm going to throw a video up here you might like. YouTube's going to throw one down here you might like. I'll catch you in one of those, or I'll catch you down the road.